governing NPP during its 2016 election campaign promised to provide $1 million to each of Ghana's 275 constituencies to help speed up their development. Now, in the Odododiodio constituency, however, residents say that money has taken too long to reach them, especially when it is desperately needed to fix dilapidated school structures there. Now, Jojo Kobna has details in this week's edition of our citizen-driven series, Dear Nanado. Check it out.
Ona ke beginning ke wo ba wo fo ona ke do afijian mi onu shin no ke moko ba bo modin e beginning foundation fio ni mini obana ke ba nya tuni sije nu oba wa do platform mi ma fe ne ke ni anako aka gba one foundation po.
Jamestown, the Odododiodio constituency in Accra. The tide here rises just like the expectations of the people. On the minds of the people is this promise from the president.
Every constituency from next year onwards is going to get the equivalent of $1 million to address
no lakamuna me lakawo aman wona lakamuna me lakawo ya ne ake one constituency $1 million no $1 million engo.
Through the Coastal Development Authority, the constituency is supposed to benefit from developmental projects worth $1 million yearly. This is the third year since the NPP came to power, and residents are yearning for $1 million one constituency project.
One constituency, $1 million. One ako kadiko. Ne wo bia no Odododiodio ne. No komeni yo mi kede ejake. Keji oba. Do ke no oba afi no fi. Anya ni mini. Amale yo se. Alo anya ke noko ni sa yo se. Chikoko ba afi no ba fi. Ali akeu obo ba fi o keji awie abana no ko papa ni mini awie yoyi ba awie neke ni amefe because no ko tumo alaka ska eyenye shi innako no ba na do pa yoda si innako agashi lele akebalo akebaku o ba nyo kema agashi o ima ene to ma school tu abake o ama school to 200. She chabele share 200. Fibona bon mane ene ending 0. Mo fe mon baba e ba ke wa ke show e ba fe ne ke ending 0. E ba fe ne ending 0. E ba fe ne ending 0. Ending 0 koklo she ba ye 4 years e kan. Leke bi ame benefit ame nothing. She mi money vote na se. Aba se ko baba le sian ke ba tenopole che avant le sian avant le ne alegbe. Mi money vote one day ataje me elegbe mi no ko poni kelegbe.
Nyaku Mashal did school for fishing during his childhood. He said if he could go back into time, he would rather choose school. Observing children fishing and shunning school saddens him. Mashal identifies education as the biggest priority for his constituency. He wants government to fix poor school infrastructure.
In be ya school in wolule fa in be wolule fa de ba fe ba wa mi ona ena lu tumo ko etu enye wa mi ska ena lu tumo etu odogba aka e pe se na e ba nye question go mr ram ke na ke skane na ba ke ba ne akawo school mi odogba ni Odododiodio na me na se.
Many public schools in the constituency are not in good shape. A typical example is the Ayalolo cluster of schools. Accra Sempe School was established in 1826, one of 4 schools built by the colonial British government. Over the years, the school has not received a befitting infrastructure, but in 2015, construction of a new school complex started but stalled in January 2017. The School Management Committee Chairman, George Ayi, is worried about the stalling of the project and wants government to invest part of the $1 million to finish the school.
And we are grappling with basic. We are grappling with it. I mean, what do you expect of people of this community? And we were the leaders. At independence, we were the leaders. Is it deliberate or accidental?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, development of human capital is key. We can't talk about development without looking at the human beings. And so we can start off by looking at the human capital development, and that is education.
Children are also unhappy and want government to intervene.
Nana, come please, we need your help. We are suffering in this school. Like the way learning is not comfortable, so please, we need your help. Yeah, we are suffering in this school. Sometimes learning is not comfortable because the way the rains fall and it leaks into our classroom, and when the wind blows too, it enters into our classroom, and when the sun also shines, it makes us feel, so sometimes we have to stand up from where we are sitting and come to another place to sit there.
Residents of Odododiodio want government to engage them on how the Coastal Development Authority plans to use the $1 million.
They have what you are, especially school, they have what you are women cry.
Well, ye and yellow, Nanado, me qualify, ye number barmy, ye just barmy. I can bomb more than I can only you, Ningo, all any legion, they fee, now. Report out.
Our checks show that government has started 2 borehole facilities in Odododiodio under the $1 million one constituency project. One at the Bukom Park and the other at the Jamestown Abattoir. Residents of Bukom say 5 months after the drilling of the hole, the project was abandoned, and so sand filled up the hole.
Na saba neni chaniba ke ni na bacha pe kwa shake ameba yenu keba kona kwa ke amechunu chumulo na ba pe oda de na meba amenyeto na meke kpan fito na meke wonim not no yeni na fie e na abu ameshika mashi lole ko ba chono na abu efite sha me force na me na ke to obulem na ye nu e ba to ka be nu chumo ameba chu after then na me ba don ni e bia na efite e na abu ana.
The Jamestown Abattoir borehole has not been completed. The only sign of work is a PVC pipe sticking out from the belly of the earth and surrounded by vehicle tires. A toilet facility at the Ayalolo cluster of schools has also started and currently at the lintel level. Authorities say they have challenges acquiring land to implement projects.
About 2017, 2018, 2019, we were about
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. Our guest this morning is the PRO for the Ministry of Special Development Initiatives. I'm talking, of course, about Mr. Kabore Awudu Muru. It's very good to see you. Thank you very much for making the time to be with us today.
Thank you very much, Kojo. I'm also excited to be here.
Well, thanks.
To respond to some of the issues.
Yes, indeed. Well, let's get straight to it. The people of Jamestown, they're entitled to $1 million.
Yes, definitely.
2 boreholes not completed.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, thank you very much, Kojo. And as I rightly said, I'm excited to be here. At least the people of this country would get to hear what we also have to say as a ministry. But I think before I respond to your question, I would want to go back to the documentary and respond to one particular issue that came up with regards to the amount of money that has been made available from 2017, 2018, and 2019.
Yeah.
Now, in 2017, as we are all aware, and I think my minister did explain, that in 2017, the government of Ghana, through the Ministry of Finance, made available the 1 million per constituency for every constituency. But unfortunately, the ministry couldn't utilize that fund because, one, the ministry was new. We were putting in place structures to be able to run the ministry. The bill establishing the development authorities were also being developed. So at the end of the year, we couldn't have utilized because we didn't have the structures in the first place. So the money had to go back to government chest. You and I know very well that the 1 million per constituency is not a statutory fund. So when the year elapsed, that had to go back to government chest. So in 2017, there was no allocation for every constituency. I think we have made that point very, very clear. My minister, on several occasions, has also made that point. Now, before I come back to 2018, let me jump to 2019. Because 2019 has also been mentioned. As I speak to you now, for the 2019 project, the Ministry of Finance, I think last 2 months, gave the commencement certificate for 2019 projects. So as I speak to you now, constituencies are submitting their projects to the various development authorities. Because per the act establishing the development authority, they are responsible for implementing the IPEP project in every constituency. So as I speak to you now, constituencies are submitting their project to the development authorities. I know very soon the procurement process would also start so that the constituencies will begin to see evidence of the 1 million per constituency for the 2019 allocation. And the good thing also is that this year I think we have a multi-year budget. So the 2019 resources that has been made available will not expire as the 2017 allocation expired. So there is a guarantee for 2020. Now, I think this discussion should be limited to 2018. Yes, in 2018, the government made available 1 million per constituency for every constituency. And I need to explain this part. In 2018, the IPEP program was divided into 2. We have the government priority projects and the constituency specific needs. The project that falls under the government priority projects are the Water for All program, where we are providing each constituency with a minimum of 3 water systems. We are also providing every constituency with a minimum of 3 institutional toilet facilities under the Toilet for All program. All these are geared towards ensuring that we meet the SDG 6. Aside from that, we also have 1 ambulance, 1 constituency. As I speak to you now, we are procuring a total of 307 for every constituency. The first batch is almost in. As I speak to you now, some constituencies, in addition to what they are already benefiting, they're also benefiting from warehouses. Under the 1 district, 1 warehouse, we're doing 50 this year. If you move to the northern part of the country, we're also doing 1 village, 1 dam. It is a project under the Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program. So this project forms the government component of the Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program. Then we then have the constituency specific projects. So in 2018, we began with this particular project. And I would want to narrow our discussion to the Odododiodio because I think that is the issue under discussion. And as we all saw in the documentary, contractors were on site to start with the water systems. They drilled the boreholes. After they have drilled, I mean, there's another component where they have to test the water because this is for human consumption. So the water must be of high quality. After they have tested with the water, they realized that there's too much salt in it. So we had to abandon, as I speak to you now. There's no way that we can continue with that particular project under the Water for All program for Odododiodio constituency. So ordinarily, they should be benefiting from 3 water systems, but due to this particular challenge, they cannot. Now to the toilet for all, and I think we also saw in the video the Ayalolo cluster of schools. We saw an institutional toilet facility that has started. Okay, ordinarily they should benefit from 3 institutional toilet facilities. 1 has started. The remaining 2, there is an issue about the accessibility of land for some of these capital projects. So the 2 cannot take place.
Explain what the issue is.
Yeah, so the issue currently, because with the project, we are into capital, infrastructure. That money is to finance basic infrastructure, something that you and I can see. You would need land to site some of these projects. And as a ministry, we depend on the beneficiary communities to make available a piece of land so that we can site those projects there. Unfortunately for the Odododiodio constituency, just like some constituencies in the Greater Accra region, we have issues with land. Nobody is willing, even though they need the project, but they are not willing to release a piece of land for government. And you and I know how expensive, lands are in Accra. We cannot use that money to go and buy a piece of land to put up a project that will benefit. So this is a challenge that we had to deal with in the Odododiodio constituency. Now, on the constituency-specific projects, as I already indicated, the IPEP comes in 2 parts: the government priority part and the constituency-specific project.
Tell me what the ratio is. So what percentage is government and what percentage is constituency?
Well, I think with I cannot specifically mention the ratio per se, because if you look at I'm coming. Under the government priority project, as I rightly indicated, I can mention some of the figures for you to really the ambulances that we are procuring. Odododiodio will be benefiting from 1 of those ambulances. And if you take that component of an ambulance for the Odododiodio constituency, in terms of the training, the insurance, as a package of an ambulance, it's around $130,000. You understand? The water system, the type of water system that we are also providing each should cost, I think, between 90 to 120,000 Ghana cedis. The institutional toilet facility is between 150 to 170. How
much did you say the ambulance was?
$130,000 as a component, as a package. Yeah. So, I mean, that goes into that particular component.
And the toilets, how much?
And the toilet ranges between 150 to 170,000 Ghana cedis. Yeah, and I think this figure we have also, the minister indicated when she appeared before the military, the water is between 90 to 120, depending on the location.
Ghana cedis?
Ghana cedis, yeah. Yeah, so Odododiodio as a constituency obviously is not benefiting from a warehouse, so we cannot charge the warehouse. They are not benefiting from a dam, so we cannot charge it, okay? So the remaining balance would have to go into the constituency specific projects. Now, okay.
So to clarify, the process by which this allocation is done between government controlled portion of the $1 million and the community controlled portion is that government first decides what they want to do.
Not necessarily.
Cost it. And then the balance goes to the community?
No, what happened was that in 2018, this special arrangement was for 2018. And as I indicated, when we started with the implementation of this project, the development authorities, whose main responsibility is to deal with the various constituencies, were not fully in place. The CEOs were appointed somewhere in March, the board somewhere in July, thereabout. So obviously they didn't have the structure. So cabinet gave the approval, the minister approval. Look, we cannot wait any longer. Okay, we can start something. That's the reason why the government component also came in. So if you look at the project that they've started taking for 2019, it will not capture, government priority parts. There's a reason why in 2018 there is this special arrangement Okay.
So I want to know how the special arrangement worked.
Yeah. So
how did you decide which portion will be spent by government and which portion will be spent by the community?
Yeah, and the point that I'm also making, and I mean obviously to answer you, is that I mean we all know the cost of some of these water systems. Of course, I think it went through process to determine the amount that will go. I think I may be able to provide you with the specific as to how it was arrived at. Yeah. But this is the range that I have given you with regards to this particular figure. Okay. So with the ambulance, I know you can perhaps do your own background check and look at how much an ambulance will cost. If you look at the facility that we are putting up, you can do your own check and look at the various components, do your own calculation.
But first, somebody looked at Odododiodio and said, for this constituency, we are going to provide an ambulance, we're going to provide 3 toilet facilities and 2 water facilities.
3 institutional toilet facilities, the minimum, as I rightly said.
Yes. So somebody made this decision, right?
Yeah.
And then the decision, once this decision was made, then that was a commitment of money.
Yes, please.
So whatever is left, that's what will be given to the community.
That will then move into the constituency specific project. And mind you, all these projects.
So I want to understand the accountability around that decision-making process.
Okay, accountability.
Who made the decision?
Oh, you see, government has a commitment for development as far as, I mean, Ghana is concerned. We all know very well that we have issues with water in this country. We have issues.
Was it the minister who made the decision?
No, I think this is a cabinet decision. This is a cabinet. It's a government decision.
So cabinet made a decision on every single one of the 275 constituencies. Cabinet sat down. How many people
I think I want you to understand the angle that I'm coming from. I have made a point that the 1 million per constituency is for constituencies, right? Yes. Now, in 2018, and the normal circumstances, as I rightly indicated, it is the responsibility of the development authorities to go down there.
You've made that point already. They were not there.
They were not there.
So I want to know who made the decision.
And I'm saying that government has commitment, you know, for the people of this country in terms of water. I mean, government is very key as far as the issue of SDG 6 is concerned, provision of water. So that is our contribution. So government thought that, look, let us deal with this particular issue. And also let us also not forget that in 2017, the ministry sent a team to all constituencies,
which
270. I'm talking about the Ministry of Special Development Initiative. We constituted a 10-member team. They visited every constituency. And what we realized was that the issue of a toilet facility, water, you know, warehouses seems to run through all the constituencies. You understand? So I want to believe this one formed the basis.
So what you're doing is you're explaining why the decision. I'm asking who.
And I'm saying government. No, government. I'm talking about government. Government.
Please, Mr. Kaborimoro, you need to be more specific than that. Yes. You are speaking for the ministry. So explain to me, was it the minister who decided that these are the particular things that will be done for Odododiodio? Was it cabinet? Did cabinet sit together and take every single one of the 275 constituencies and say, this one will do this, this one will do borehole, this one will do one village, one dam? Who made the decision about Odododiodio?
And the point that I am making is that, you see, we are not dealing, of course, we are focusing on Odododiodio, but if you look at if you look at these projects, okay, that I've mentioned, the water system, the toilet, they are taking place in all the 275 constituencies.
Yes. So who made the decision?
Government made that decision.
Please be more helpful than that.
I'm telling you that
please be more helpful than that. Was it the ministry?
No, the point that I'm making is that,
was it the ministry?
You see, the ministry cannot just on its own, okay, say, look, we are going to provide you with, you know, toilet facilities and, you know, water system.
Who?
So the point that I'm making here is that it's government that made that particular decision. Government, cabinet made that decision. And I'm telling you, cabinet made that decision.
So cabinet made the decision.
Yes.
And it affects every single one of the 275
Yes, and the point that I'm also making, I think it's important that we look at where we are coming from. No, the point, I think we need to clarify this particular point, okay? I don't want an impression to be created that the government just, you know, decided to provide people with just water and toilet without a basis. No, the point that I'm making is that in 2017,
what the process was.
Look, I think it's important that we deal with this particular issue so that those who are watching us would have the benefit. The point that I'm making is that in 2017, a team was sent out, okay, to all the 275 constituencies. As I speak to you now, we have that report ready. And you realize that water, toilet, warehouse, dam was prominent in, I mean, with the water, was prominent. The dams, of course, in the 5 northern region. Okay, now because the development authorities were not in place, government thought that, look, since this particular project has been captured in almost all the constituencies, okay, why don't the ministry implement this particular project, okay, so that when the development authorities are fully set up, they can continue with the constituency specific project. That is the point that I'm making.
But you've made that point already. I don't know why you felt the need to repeat it. You have already made that point.
Emphasis, I think for emphasis.
No, I don't think there was a need. Okay, so cabinet is the one that made these decisions.
Yeah, based on the constituency needs assessment report that was carried out.
And we are focusing on 2018 for the moment. We'll talk about 17 and 19 later, but let's focus on 2018. So once cabinet made this decision, it was time for implementation. And I've been trying to do the maths here. I'm terrible with maths, but it's something like 390,000 Ghana cedis plus 130,000 US dollars. So 130,000 US dollars into cedis. I'm sorry, I need a calculator. But if it was 100,000, that would have been
I think we can use maybe a rate of maybe 5.1. I think 600 and some 665 thereabout.
So something like 700,000.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Ghana cedis. You add that to 390, and you are looking at something like 1.1 million Ghana cedis, which will leave about 4.4 million.
Yeah, it depends on the rate that you are using, because we are talking about 2000 and we are talking about 2000.
Let's do it this way rather. Let's convert 1.1 million Ghana cedis. We're looking at something like what would that be in dollars? Something like.
But you should also take into consideration, if you want to deal with exact figures, you must also look at
so we're working with estimates here. We're working with estimates here. So $180,000 out of $1 million. So what happened to the 820,000 that the community was supposed to?
So I think so if you look at the project that they submitted one of the requests that they submitted. I think I have it here. They submitted for Odododiodio. We had 7 requests that they made. Outboard motors and warehouse. They also made that particular request. Hospital equipment and hospital upgrade. A new school complex. Pipe-borne water. You understand? Recycling plant, waste bins, new road and expansion, street lights. So for the Odododiodio constituency, they made this particular. But before this particular point, that was for the constituency specific. They've also made requests for a total renovation of, and I think coincidentally, your documentary showed Dayalolo cluster of schools. One of the projects that they submitted that they want government to come in is and we intend to, with the water system, as I rightly told you, and the toilet facility because of, so there's a decision has been taken that if that is the case, there's a need for us to move that resources into the, how do I even call it, that particular institution, so that we can renovate it.
So in addition to the, just to clarify, in addition to the 180,000 US dollars, which you'll be spending some on water. You are also taking some of the 820,000 to add.
So in this case, the point is that because of the situation that we have at Odododiodio, they cannot have the water system. You understand? So in this case, we need to channel that resources into another project from the constituency. And in this case, they have selected the Yalolo cluster of schools that they would want the resources to go into the renovation. And as I speak to you now, processes are ongoing to ensure that that resources is channeled. And you can see how dilapidated that structure is.
So what you're saying is you're rather taking from the government chunk to add to the community.
Yes, because it is for the constituency.
So, and this is going into the school.
You have to go into in the school.
When was this decision made?
I think this decision was made somewhere in March this year.
When did you discover that there was too much salt?
I think the decision taken was somewhere. The contract was awarded somewhere in July 2018. I think the contractor moved to site around September, about a year from now, when they have to send the water for testing and those kind of stuff. So somewhere in November they realized, but you need to engage with the community again. You understand? So through the engagement and all, I think it took quite a lot of time in arriving at a decision. So a decision has been taken, and the ministry is working very hard to ensure that Odododiodio also benefit from it fair share.
So to clarify, a contract was awarded in July for the water.
I cannot be very specific.
We can work trying to ballpark the thing. November, thereabouts, we discovered that there's salt in it. It took from November to March to consult the people and decide what to do with the money.
Yes.
In March, a decision was made that that money will be added to the renovation of the school.
Yeah.
And we are in September.
We are in September.
And you haven't started renovating the school.
Yeah. So the
what
point,
are we waiting
the point
for?
also is that, I mean, this is government money, and you cannot just allocate that money into, because the point that I've also made with regards to this water is that it has already been decided and gone through the procurement processes. You need to start everything all over again. So the processes is taking.
But there's already an 820,000 thereabouts.
Yeah, you see, out of this particular amount, aside from the renovation of the Addo cluster of schools, there's one other project that they also requested. That is they want a new school complex. A school complex.
This money was available in 2018. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
So no matter how many projects you want to do with it, you had an entire year, 2018, to do them. You haven't even started any of them. To the point where you've even started and stopped a government project, taken the money from there to come and add to it, to do one of the projects that the community has called for, and still, almost at the end of 2019, you haven't started. What are you waiting for?
I think, well, I think obviously there are some, challenges.
What are the challenges?
I've mentioned that, we needed to start everything all over again. You understand? So,
what did you have to start all over?
I'm talking about the procurement process. You understand the procurement process?
Which procurement? You haven't even started to begin with. So when you say all over again,
so the point here, the point that I'm making here is that we are channeling those resources into a particular and normal circumstance project.
Yeah. I'm talking about the money that was already earmarked for these projects.
Yes.
$820,000 thereabouts by our general estimations. Okay. You've done nothing with this money. And the entire 2018 has passed. We are almost at the end of 2019. You've done nothing with this money.
I can only
and you are saying that you have to restart.
The issue is that I think, as I have mentioned, okay, making reference to the resources that we are moving from the government priority projects into the Ayalolo cluster of school renovation. I think we need. We need to go through the procurement. I think I've mentioned this particular point. I don't know why I have to even repeat it per se.
You have to repeat it because there was already money for the Ayalolo cluster of schools and other projects.
And the point that I'm making
you are just adding to it.
And the point
what you are adding is 120,000. That's something like $20,000 that you are adding.
And the point that I'm making is that we are going through, the process, the procurement process, to ensure that we've gotten the thing right. You just look at the building, see how dilapidated it is. It will require a lot of resources.
So what you want to say to these people of the Odododiodio constituency, what you want to say to them as a spokesperson for the ministry in charge of giving them their due, is that a year was not enough. In fact, a year and 9 months has not been enough time for you to do even one of the things that they asked for.
I think, Kwejo, I would want to be very fair to all of us here. The point that I'm making is that I think the most important thing is that the good people of Odododiodio would definitely benefit from their project from the 2000. They will benefit.
Why has it taken so long?
Very soon.
And I use the money for something else.
I mean, come on, we cannot go and use that.
So the money is just sitting there.
So the point is that
is the money just sitting there?
No, the point is that we are going to make sure.
Which account is the money in?
I mean, every government money sits with the Ministry of Finance, right?
So the money is at the Ministry of Finance?
Yes, but we have to go through a process to assess that particular fund. And I'm telling you,
it's not long enough for you to access this money.
I think the point that I'm making
is that you've done nothing. To assess, you haven't bought the ambulance.
No,
the toilet facility, you've started one, you haven't finished. A year and 9 months, you haven't finished. 2 of them you haven't even started because you don't have land. Ambulance, you haven't bought it.
The ambulance.
Water, you can't do it.
No, you see,
all the things that they've asked for, every single one of them, you haven't done, you haven't touched.
I think we need to be very fair. Don't say with water we haven't done it.
No, you haven't done it. You started, you couldn't.
There's a reason.
You say you can't do it.
No, yes, we can't do it because there's a reason.
Yes.
There's a reason. So don't say we couldn't, as if no attempt was made, to undertake that particular.
All right, let me use your language. What are you have attempted?
You see, we have attempted.
You have attempted it, and you've done nothing else.
No, the point that I'm making.
Else.
See, the point that I'm making is that, and I would just want to make this point very clear, that the good people of Odododiodio have not been left out as far as the 2018 allocation is concerned. You talk about the ambulance. As I speak to you now, the first batch I understand will be in this week. the people of Odododiodio would benefit
from
for 2018. You know the processes, because look, we are not going to the market to go and buy an ambulance.
When the minister, when a minister wants a 4x4, does it take a year and 9 months?
As for 4x4, you can just go outside and buy it. But this one is an ambulance. They need to manufacture it according to our own specification. So you cannot compare that one with just
and
a
it takes
4x4.
a year and 9 months.
We need to make sure that this time around we don't import trotro, so that, I mean, Kojo, you will talk about it. No, we want to make sure that we get the right time.
And 9 months.
We are constructing, I've indicated. You see, no, you see, no. You see,
a multitude of people, including you.
You see,
to do this job, and a year and 9 months is not long enough for you to order an ambulance.
I disagree completely. I mean, with the simplicity of which you are making this issue look like.
Yes, because you prefer it to be complicated.
That's not the case. The issue is that you cannot just go outside and just buy an ambulance.
Okay.
We want to make sure
it
that
takes
we get
a year
the right
and 9 months.
And as I speak to you now, the first batch is almost in, and I think it's something that we have to talk about.
That point.
Okay, so I think
yes, you'll have to wrap up on that point.
So I think to end my submission, I just want to assure the people of Odododiodio that they have not been left out. Government is working very hard to ensure that they benefit from their 2018 allocation. I'm sure that when the construction starts, Kojo, I will invite you over so that we then have a look at it.
We will come. Thank you very much. Mr. Kabori Moro is a spokesperson for a public relations officer for the Ministry of Special Initiatives.